Hello, good morning. This is Matthias from Pur-Logic Solutions. I just want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their day today to join us in the session From Chaos to Control with Sage Integrated Document Management. Today, we've invited Beyond Limits to show you DocLink, an enterprise content platform and business process automation solution. I think it's a really interesting technology and your organization can benefit tremendously from it. Tightly integrated with Sage, DocLink leverages the existing data in your Sage 300 ERP, and you can learn how your company can automate any document-intensive process to improve productivity in AP, AR, sales orders, contracts, HR, and throughout your entire enterprise. Today, you'll see how DocLink can help you improve productivity and gain better control and visibility of your documents and data. Overall, the goal today is to show you a more effective way of managing everyday business processes by going paperless so that you can automate and streamline your critical business processes and reduce cost. Once again, I just want to stress that this webinar is for you. So please, if you have any questions, please type them into the Q&A box and we'll be happy to answer them. Now I'm going to pass it over to Dan from Beyond Limits.
Thank you, Matthias, and thank you for joining us today. Very happy to be here with you, and I want to get right into the presentation. When we talk about document management, we talk about workflow automation, all those sorts of things, everybody thinks about the digital transformation. And the digital transformation has many different definitions. A couple of them that people automatically think of, I believe, is first, the ability to accommodate a remote workforce. And the other one is to simply go paperless. And DocLink can certainly help with both of those. We have many customers who have gone paperless. We support many customers who have remote employees and have a hybrid workforce. But much more than that, we're going to cover a couple of other topics today. DocLink is an information sharing platform, and we're going to make the information that is contained within documents from either outside of your organization or inside, available to the people who need them when they need them. The digital transformation also provides for more efficient workflows, and those efficiency gains are certainly going to contribute to controlling and hopefully reducing your operational expenses. And it also, when you consider going paperless, you now no longer have the physical security that you might have over your documents, where they're locked in a filing cabinet, and the filing room may have a lock on the door, those sorts of things. So certainly security is an important topic to discuss when we look at digital transformation, and we will get into that later today. When we talk about the business needs, some of the common needs that we hear from companies we talk to, first and foremost is information access. They need employees to be able to access the information wherever they are, whenever they need it. And they may not be in the office, so it's not a possibility to walk down the hall and interrupt somebody and say, do you have a copy of that document? They need to see it now, wherever they may be. A lot of people are looking for efficiency gains. Automation brings a great deal of capability in efficiency, and we want to take advantage of that. We want to streamline your processes, not only in accounts payable, though that's where many people start, but throughout the organization. We want to reduce your operational costs, and DocLink is an excellent way to do that. Not only are we going to reduce your operational costs, but we're going to free employees up so that they have time available to do those things that with the current manual processes, they can't get to. But those responsibilities are more profitable, more valuable to the company, and probably more interesting to the employee as well. And last but not least, of course, is the security and the visibility. We want to be able to make documents available not only for internal purposes, but also for external purposes. If you have any governmental regulations, if you have, let's say, a health inspection or any other type of inspection that may be not even the annual financial audit, we want to make all of the documents available to whomever as quickly as possible so you can get through that audit, get through that inspection, and get back to your business. So we want to start today with a poll talking about those 4 things that we just reviewed. And there's also the other category. So if you have something other than those 4 that is top of mind these days, please let us know. I see Lauren has opened the poll. We'll give you a few moments to respond to the poll, and then we will continue.
Okay, I'm going to close the poll in 3, 2, 1. All right. And it looks like, Dan, everyone has selected more efficient workflows.
Okay, well, I'll try to spend a little more time on that. I'll go through some other things maybe a little more quickly and spend more time on efficient workflows. So as we continue, what does DocLink do? Well, DocLink connects your processes and your employees with the data that is found on documents, whether those documents originate within your company, from within your Sage 300 ERP system, whether they come from outside, from customers, from vendors, from other companies that you do business with in some form or fashion. We're going to gather that data and connect not only the documents, but we're going to connect the documents to the people and the processes so that we can streamline those processes. We're going to give you greater control of your documents and the data and greater accessibility. And last but not least, we can deliver, DocLink can deliver documents to whomever needs those documents, be it an employee, a customer, a vendor, it doesn't matter. We have the ability to deliver documents to whomever needs them when they need them so that they can take the appropriate action. At the bottom line, DocLink is connecting people, processes, and data for your competitive advantage. So how does DocLink work? DocLink has our own repository and database that sits outside of your Sage database. Yet the 2 programs are very tightly integrated so that there's a great deal of two-way synchronization and the ability to access documents, electronic documents that are stored within the DocLink repository can be retrieved with the click of a single button in your Sage ERP system. So you're able to operate in Sage just as you have been, but with DocLink being a separate database, now you have a document management workflow automation platform that can be used in literally every department of the company, and you don't have to be concerned about granting access to your ERP system for somebody who shouldn't have access but does need access to those documents. So here we start with the repository and the database, and the first thing we have to do, of course, is capture documents. We have to be able to bring those documents into the repository, and there are multiple ways that we can do it. We can do it through a simple scanner and dragging and dropping a document. We can use our OCR module to automatically bring things in. We can print capture documents, so documents that are generated internally, say from your Sage ERP system. It might be a purchase order, it might be a customer statement or a customer invoice. Anything that is generated from your ERP system, we can capture and bring into DocLink. We have a barcode module as well and other means. Once the document and the data is in DocLink, we can then process that document. we can put it into a workflow and automatically route it through the company for all the necessary approvals that may be required. After the document has been approved, because we already have the data, we know that it's been approved, DocLink will automatically push that data into your Sage 300 accounts payable invoice entry, for example, and eliminate the data entry that you may be doing today. We may not eliminate 100% of it. There may be an exception that requires a little bit of hands-on data entry within DocLink, but once that entry is completed in DocLink, again, everything can be pushed to Sage 300. So the only thing left is for you to post that batch and then pay the invoice when it's due. As I mentioned earlier, we can deliver the documents. We can deliver the documents via email. We can print them, we can fax them, FTP them, etc. And again, the documents can be delivered to employees internally so that they receive notification that they have an invoice to approve, or they receive a notice that a contract is expiring and somebody needs to take a look at it and take the appropriate action. But we can also deliver documents externally so that when an invoice is sent, for example, if your customer requires a proof of delivery, we can pick up both of those documents and send them in the same email for you automatically and very efficiently. And last but not least, we have the retrieval capabilities. We have very, very powerful retrieval capabilities within DocLink because we use the data as the basis of our retrieval. We're not dependent upon file names, so you don't have to devise a complex naming convention that covers all of the possibilities. As long as you know something about the data associated with a document, we're able to find it in DocLink. And as I mentioned, the two-way synchronization and the single button retrieval from within Sage is a very efficient way to retrieve things like vendor invoices or customer purchase orders on the sales order side, those sorts of things. Now let's dive into each of our topics a little more closely. When we look at information access, the critical question to ask is, do you have access to your critical documents? When you need them, where you need them? Oftentimes, certainly in a paper-based world, the answer is no. That document may be locked up in a filing cabinet. It may be in somebody's desk drawer. It may be sitting in a pile on somebody's desk. You don't know whose desk. You don't know who has the key. And at a minimum, it's inconvenient to call down the hallway or get up and walk down the hallway to talk to the person who may have that document. Not only is it an interruption for you who needs the document, it's an interruption for the person who has to help you retrieve it. So with DocLink, we put everything in the repository. As I mentioned, we have many companies who have gone paperless because DocLink can be used in every department. We'll talk a little bit more today about accounts payable automation because that's a place where many companies start. But to really appreciate the value of DocLink, you should expand your thoughts, go beyond AP automation, and think of other documents, other processes right within finance and accounting that could be automated and documents stored electronically. You can think of every other department, customer service, inventory control, quality analysis, production, everywhere. Human resources, every department in the company can use DocLink. And when they put their documents in the repository, as I just mentioned, they're going to have easy access, an easy way to search and retrieve any document that they need or any combination of related documents that they may need. It's centrally located. So again, there's one source of truth, just as the ERP system contains and maintains one source of truth for your accounting transactions. DocLink is the one source of truth for your documents. All of the documents are there. You always know which is the latest one. If there were multiple revisions, you always know which is the latest one. And again, the two-way synchronization between DocLink and your Sage 300 ERP system makes all of the coordination of data and documents very, very easy. Here we have a case study of a customer, current DocLink customer, who needed to go paperless. They're in the customs brokerage business, and they have, of course, a great deal of documents. And they were able to eliminate all of the processes of receiving a PDF via email, saving it, printing it, signing it, scanning it, sending it via another email. I get tired just thinking about that process and trying to say it. But with DocLink, they were able to automate all of it and save a great deal of time. And again, take that time that people were spending on all of those unproductive tasks and put that time to things that were far more productive for the company. When we look at efficient workflows, let's talk about AP automation for the moment. If you remember an earlier slide, an earlier illustration of how DocLink works, we talked about capturing documents. Regardless of how you capture the document, how you onboard it or bring it into the repository, we can then, we have multiple means of gathering the data and indexing that data so that we can use it down the road for search and retrieval capabilities. Through all of this, we're going to reduce the manual reconciliations that you're doing. If you are currently laying out a purchase order and a packing slip and an invoice on your desk and moving your head and your eyes back and forth, trying to do a manual or visual three-way match, with the data that we have in DocLink and the data that we have in Sage, we can easily match that data and we can easily automate that matching and reconciliation process. The two-way synchronization allows us to leverage the existing Sage data. We can use it for data validation. We can make sure that we do have an invoice from a valid vendor. We can confirm that we have that the vendor is invoicing us for a valid item at the correct unit price. All of those sorts of things can be done automatically. Again, saving time and also reducing the human error factor that is inherent in any manual process. And that two-way synchronization that I've mentioned allows for changes that may be made in Sage. Maybe it's a new vendor, it's a new item, whatever. It's gone through the approval process in DocLink, but then accounting takes one more last look at it just before they post that batch and decide to change the general ledger account number. Well, our two-way synchronization is going to allow the two databases to stay in sync. We will pick up that change to the general ledger account number so that we can use that as the basis for search and retrieval later if necessary, and be sure that we get all of the appropriate documents in that search. If we take a closer look at the invoice to pay process, again, everything starts with onboarding, with capturing the document and bringing it into the repository. So whether it's done as a drag and drop, whether you're using our OCR technology, perhaps the barcode scan module, we're going to bring the document and the data into the repository. Once we do that, when we have all of the data, we can automatically put it into a workflow. You could do it manually if necessary, and there are reasons for that, but we want to take advantage of automation as much as possible. We want people to spend as little time looking at a document as we possibly can, so we can automatically put it into an approval workflow. As I mentioned earlier, when the invoice has been approved, we're automatically going to import all of that data directly into your Sage AP invoice entry screen. And then when you pay that bill, as I mentioned, we have the ability to capture information from, capture documents and capture information from your Sage 300 ERP. We can actually capture the EFT remittance advice that you generate and bring that into the DocLink repository and associate that remittance advice with each and every one of the invoices that is paid on that payment. So again, we have the ability to link everything from an original quote to the purchase order to the receiving document to the invoice and to your payment. We have the ability to link all of those documents by linking the data within the DocLink database. Here's an example of how we can automatically deliver a document to an employee for approval. Notice this is in email. They don't even have to necessarily log into DocLink to be able to approve a document. We all have email open all day long. We have email on our phones. So here we attach a copy of the invoice, a PDF of the invoice, so that they can preview it, they can see what was on there, be reminded, and then right from email, issue the approval or their denial. They can also, after clicking the approve or deny button, enter notes. So if they are denying it and they need to gather some additional information before they approve it, that note can be put in, and then everybody will see it as it's moved through the rest of the workflow. Here's an example of other unprocessed AP invoices that is now displayed in the DocLink interface, where somebody could do a larger group of invoices. There may be employees who on a daily basis or a weekly basis have to approve quite a number of invoices, and they don't want individual emails because it would just be too distracting, and emails would get pushed down the list and missed. So they have the option to come into DocLink, see all of the invoices that they need to approve in a single list, and can go through each one of them. Again, they have the ability to preview, and then they can check all of them and automatically send all of them down the road at the same time. Here's an example of our GL Smart Form that will display the data that we capture when we bring a document in through OCR, for example. All of the data that we capture about it will be displayed in the GL Smart Form, but it's also there so that people can edit it if need be. They have the ability to use the magnifying glasses on all of those different fields to look up information that's contained in the Sage ERP. Again, this is an illustration of the depth of integration between DocLink and your Sage 300 ERP. You notice on the right-hand side, Cheryl has approved this document, and her notes are there as well. Last but not least, we can also manage documents, approve documents, deny, retrieve documents, onboard documents, all through the DocLink mobile application as well. Here's another case study talking about AP automation and the value of it. Herman Goldner processes approximately 80,000 invoices per year. And through the use of DocLink, through the deployment of DocLink, they are able to automatically process about 80% of those invoices. So you take 64,000 invoices per year, and those are automatically read and automatically pushed through automatically into a workflow. Reducing operational costs. Again, when we look at accounts payable, what does it cost to process an invoice manually versus with a system like DocLink? These are not our numbers. You notice in the lower right-hand corner, the source for all of this information is from Ardent Partners. They studied all of the time and steps necessary to process an invoice, and in a paper-based world, the current cost is somewhere around $15.38. That's US. But when you use an automated system like DocLink, you can reduce that by about a factor of 7 down to $2.87. And you notice that you can reduce the time that it takes from start to finish significantly as well. So when we talk about operational efficiency and we eliminate all of those steps that I mentioned, we receive a PDF, we have to save it, we have to open it, we have to print it, and then process it manually. There's a great deal of wasted time in that. We have manual data entry that we can reduce to its lowest common denominator. And when you talk about reconciliation and matching, those sorts of things, well, again, when you are doing things automatically, you're eliminating all those manual steps, those reconciliations and matches become much easier as well. And of course, we can accommodate the remote workforce. So whether somebody is simply working down the hall in the office, whether they're working from home, whether they're in a hotel or out in the field somewhere, again, all of the documents, all of the information that they need, all of the processes that they need are at their fingertips. Here's another case study, Thornburg Investment Management. By using DocLink, they were not only able to gain a great deal of efficiency, you notice that they were able to save over $7,500 per year on outside storage fees. And the efficiency that they gained allowed them to grow without having to add additional staff. And I will argue that that $40,000 annual savings is low, because that's probably just the salary portion of the compensation. When you add benefits, when you add governmental, employer taxes, and all of those other costs, training, computers and office space and everything else, I'm sure that that number very easily exceeds $60,000 a year. So we've talked a while about AP automation. Now it's time to turn our attention to sales order processing. We have the ability to also bring in customer purchase orders. As I mentioned earlier, we can attach delivery documents to invoices if your customers require them, and overall improve the customer service that you're providing. This is just a simple example of our Smart Capture OCR interface, where on the left-hand side, you can see all of the data that we automatically extracted from the customer purchase order on the right-hand side. You see that we capture things like ship to addresses so that we get the product delivered to the proper address. And at the bottom of the screen, you see that we capture all of the line item detail as well. Again, achieving a great deal of efficiency by reducing and in many cases eliminating manual data entry. Here's an example of an automated email that is going to pick up both in this case, the customer purchase order and their invoice, and send them off to the customer automatically. But again, it could be any combination of documents. So when we talk about sales order automation, we start with the capture of quotes and order acknowledgments. We integrate with your Sage 300 sales order entry system. We can handle the signed packing slips or delivery tickets, bill of lading, whatever it might be, and automatically deliver them, and any other backup along with the invoice. For people who are in chemical processing or foods, they might need to deliver a certificate of analysis, either with the product, so it needs to accompany the bill of lading, or with the invoice, and we can handle that. The last topic for today is visibility, security, and compliance. And again, very important to know where documents are in the process. In a paper-based world, documents can get lost on somebody's desk. Documents can be stalled when somebody goes on vacation or is traveling for work and is gone for any number of days. That approval may be stalled. With DocLink, you will always know where every document is in its process. So you know who you need to contact to move that document along. I had a conversation with a prospect, a Canadian prospect, who looked at that and said that would allow them to close their books anywhere from 5 to 10 days earlier every month, so that they could provide financial statements to the owners that much earlier. And that, of course, is going to improve the accuracy of their financial statements. It allows you to manage the audit trails. Again, we saw the audit trail, the approval stamp, and again, all of this is very satisfying to auditors. The security can be applied at any level and through many different means. We can simply do it at the company level. We can do it at a department or a document type level, but we can also use any property. We could secure documents based on the general ledger account number that an item is posted to. So there's a great deal of capability, a great deal of security that's built into DocLink. And again, when it comes to compliance, whether it's a health department inspection, any other regulatory agency, or simply the financial audit, we have the ability to provide documents to those auditors and inspectors much faster than we can in a paper-based world, which, even if it doesn't result in necessarily lower audit fees from the outside audit firm, it is certainly going to be much more efficient for the employees who are responsible for retrieving those documents. Great example of this is, again, another DocLink company that suffered a $100,000 penalty because they were unable to provide documents for a sales tax audit. That alone will pay for DocLink many times over. So as we look to conclude here, remember that DocLink is an enterprise-wide solution. It is not a siloed AP automation solution that does AP automation and AP automation only. DocLink can address all of the other processes and all of the other documents within finance and accounting and within every department in the company. So I encourage you to think of all of the processes that are costing your company money, costing your employees time, that could be put to better uses without having to hire additional employees. So now we have just one last poll. I'll open it to, I'll ask Lauren to open the poll. We'll give it a minute and see what the results say, and then I will look to answer any questions that you might have.
All right, and while we're doing that, if anybody has any questions out there, please go ahead and type that into the questions box and we'll address it next. But the poll is open, so I'll give a few more seconds. It should have popped up on your screen there. So what did you learn from today's session? Let us know. All right, I'll give it a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we'll close the poll. Okay, so it looks like, Dan, 50% of DocLink works across every department, and DocLink has a tight integration with Sage 300, so we had a 50-50 there.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lauren. So that is the end of our presentation for today. Would certainly welcome the opportunity to speak with all of you individually about your company's specific business requirements and how DocLink can help you address those requirements and improve your efficiency and reduce your costs and all of those sorts of things. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them now. Lauren, do we have anything in the chat?
All right. There is one question. I think everybody always wants to know, how can they acquire DocLink? Is it an on-prem solution? Can you get a subscription? Can you shed some light on that for them, Dan?
Sure. Excellent question. Thank you. So yes, DocLink can be deployed on-premise. So if you have your Sage 300 installed on servers that are within your 4 walls, we can certainly install DocLink right next to that. However, our subscription license does also provide the flexibility for you to install DocLink in a privately hosted cloud. So if you have Sage 300 in a cloud somewhere through Pur-Logic, we can again install DocLink right there in a cloud environment just as easily as we can on premise. So great deal of flexibility in acquiring DocLink and installing DocLink as well.
All right, thank you, Dan. I don't see any other questions, but if anybody has any questions after the fact, feel free to reach out to Dan or to Pur-Logic, and we'd be happy to help answer those questions. I think we're done then. Any last minute words before we close out for everyone?
No, I just want to sincerely thank everyone for joining us this morning, and I hope that this has been educational and productive, and hopefully will compel you to contact Matthias and ask to start an evaluation of DocLink.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Matthias. And everybody have a great, thank you. Everyone have a great rest of your day now. Thanks, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.